the office, and I think like I mentioned, I was out traveling all last week and up until the weekend of Thanksgiving, I was out as well. So November and so far December have been super busy for me. Have they been bit? How was that for you, Chip?
It's busy, but in a different way. It's just that time of year for people deciding on what software to purchase or getting software set up. Of course, the new release of the program, the new software came out last week, so that's got everybody poking around in it, looking at it, trying to figure it out, and make sense of it and get ready for the coming season. So
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's tech season is definitely upon us, and I know that there's a lot of people right now either getting ready. I know there's at times I get asked questions like, um, do you guys have a preferred software provider at Latino Tax Pro? My answer is typically yes. We have Drake as our preferred software provider, and we've been doing some webinars very consistently now with you guys, which is
mm-hmm.
great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be part of a lot of them. Again, I'm traveling, or it's with so much traveling, I guess I'm allowed to take a day off, even though I'd rather be at work. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's always great to have you guys here today. But it looks like we're rolling. We're ready to start. If you're
Okay,
ready,
I'm
we
ready.
can start with some introductions. Hey, good
Sure.
morning, everybody. This is Vicente over here with Latino Tax Pro Sales Manager, and today we have our good friend Chip from Drake Tax Software. It's always an honor to have you guys here. I know we had Amanda the other day
Good.
talking about Schedule C, and today we're going to be going over uh, basically what we were just talking about a little bit before we went live is what's new at Drake Tax Software Schools, what's happening, how's this new how are these new updates going to help us during the season, and Chip is going to be going over that. But before you do that, Chip, do you mind introducing yourself to our friends, to our
Sure.
colleagues out there?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Chip Godwin. I've been with Drake since 1998 in some form or fashion. Started out in support, did that, have been in sales for well over 20 years with the company now. Just taking our time to demonstrate things. And I guess today I was asked to come on and really make sense of a new release product that we're kind of coming out there with, a new product called Drake Tax Online.
Mhm.
Try to explain what that one is about for everybody, so that a lot of questions. What is it? What does it do? What doesn't it do? Or things like that. So we'll definitely make sure we hopefully give you guys a good bird's eye view of that product and what it can do, and we can poke around a little bit and look at kind of what some of its features are for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. Again, there's always improvements, especially when the crowd gives us suggestions on how to make it improvements. I've always said that there's always room for improvement, regardless of where you're at. Uh, that goes with everything. It's funny. I'm gonna divert a little bit out of this,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Sure.
noticed that your last name, Godwin,
Yep.
or is it Goodwin or God? Because
It's
I all
Godwin.
I Yeah, because all I read was God is winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I read. So I'm like, oh man, I think when I registered you, I didn't notice it, but I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, God does always win. So
Yeah.
you know, big praise for him. But um again, so if you want to get started and share your screen, I know you have some stuff that you want us to go over today. And to
Sure.
everybody watching, whether you're here on the Zoom platform or you're online, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, any of our social media platforms, feel free to submit your questions. I will read them out to Chip here. He will answer them, and if we don't get no answers, we're gonna kind of stop and go type deal, but feel free to submit your questions. But before we get started too, also let us know where you're following us from, where are you watching us from, and currently, what software are you using, or what's one thing that you would like to see improved in your software? So with that said, Chip, go ahead. The floor and the screen is all yours.
All right. Well, so we are looking at the home screen of Drake Tax Online here. You access it through something that is also new this year. It's called Drake User Manager. It's part of the Drake Hub product. And we've got some different training videos and things explaining what all those things are and what they do, some neat new features. But ultimately, Drake Tax Online is a growth of a product. We've had a web-based 1040 program for years, and we've had lots of requests for people to get a truly web-based platform going that allows them to do, all types of returns. And so that's what Drake Tax Online is coming out with. This coming year, you'll be able to do 1040s, 1120s, and 1065s completely web-based. Other entity returns like corporations or fiduciaries and trusts and things like that will need to, you'll still be able to start them online. You'll just end up entering data in the traditional Drake platform. We'll talk a little bit about that today. But so you'll still be able to do those types of returns and you still manage them through the web. So they're still web-based, just a different interface on some of that as we build this out. And we're really looking for feedback from the new users that are coming on board, from new customers or the existing Drake customers that are switching. We want a lot of feedback from you guys on what you like, what you'd like to see, improvements, because we really want to build this out for tax professionals. And so we're trying to build out something that is web-based, therefore it'd be platform agnostic. Wouldn't matter if you were on a Chromebook or if you're on a MacBook or if you're on a Windows or Linux, none of that would matter. You could even use mobile devices to access this platform, especially for your 1040s, 1120s, and 1065s right now. So that's one thing that's coming. Real quick, we do have, if you go to the Drake Software Knowledge Base, you can scroll down and go to Drake Tax Online. And we have several frequently asked questions, quick start guides, just some different things that you might go through, how to log in, all that. But the main thing I want to do is just tell you to look at the overview, kind of what it is, how to do certain things. You will have to access the customized Drake tax software. And we're going to play around with that. Just understand that there are certain features that are only available in the Drake desktop. A lot of the keyboard shortcuts that a lot of existing Drake customers are used to, because it's running in a web browser, those aren't going to work. You're going to have some limited married filing joint split functionality when you use what they call the traditional data entry or the Drake tax desktop data entry. And there's some limitations on a few other things. And of course, Drake tax planners and organizers are currently missing. They won't be available in DTO. So we do plan to add them in the future, just not going to be in there this year. So just understand that there are some differences in how that's going to work. Basically, how this essentially works is you come here, you're going to have your hub user access. You can choose your prior year, so you can get prior years as well, but you launch the year. And then once you launch the program, you are in there, you will see a list of your clients as the preparer. So I've only started one return so far. So if I had more, they would be here. So just to give you an idea, if I go back into 2024, for instance, it'll launch 24 and you can see I have a lot of different clients. There's also reports that can be run. So you can run a client contact report, client status reports, different functionalities in there as well. But we're going to stay in 25 because, of course, it's the new year. So let's take a look at it. What this does tell you right here is it tells you what type of return it is, who the preparer assigned to it is, what state they currently are in. And so that would be there. And then if it's been e-filed and accepted, you would have an acknowledgement here. If it was rejected, you'll have there when it was last accessed. You can delete the return from here. You can also click open in desktop. And if you'll notice down, you may not be able to really see it, but down the bottom of my screen, I don't have Drake open. So when I click open in desktop, what this does is this lets me open up, it'll open up a copy of the return. It basically pulls the return down into the Drake desktop platform. Because I do have it under a license, it's going to pop up and give me a little couple of things. Updates, of course. Let's go ahead and grab updates.
I love it because this is when you know it's real.
Yeah. And so you get because I do have an actual licensed version of the software installed on the desktop. So let's go ahead and try that. Now that the desktop is updated, we'll go ahead so you can see sort of how this works, because you don't have to log in. It pulls everything. You don't even really have to have the software installed. This will do this. But because I do have a license of it, I get that little error. Yeah, it won't happen to you guys because you won't have, if you're using Drake Tax Online, you're not going to have that functionality. So, and then it's upgraded, right? So in here, it'll go into the return in just a second. And so now if you're familiar at all with Drake, this is the Drake data entry screens like you have on the desktop software. So you can maneuver around. If you notice, you do have some limited buttons up here. You can do a split. You just won't be able to save the returns. You can do some importing through this functionality. And then, of course, up here, payments, you can do some different stuff in here. It'll do a calculation. Georgia hasn't come out to show you the bill, and then you can send a request just like you would if you're using Drake Pay. So you can request money here. Whatever changes you make to this return, right? So let's just go to the W-2, for instance, T for taxpayer. I'm just going to put in a quick W-2. Right? We're not going to worry about states. In fact, we'll go ahead and suppress the states so we don't keep getting that beep. But now what I can do is I can hit the save and sync button, and that saves it back to the website. So when I click return to web, it'll do a calculation. And then what it's going to do is take me back out, and it's going to open up a copy of the tax return that I was just in. And so now I could continue to operate. So there's a few different ways you can navigate on the web. But what I want to start with here is I want to start a return from scratch for you guys. So we'll exit that. We're back out here. So this was that return. You can see 17 seconds, 18 seconds. It's going to take up. We were just in it. But we can start a new return. We can go ahead and click create. We can type in. I'm just going to create a test return. So I'm going to click create test return so we can see this. Now, just like in Drake software, when you type in the social or create the return, the first thing it does is take you to the name and address screen. So it wants you to fill in some information. So if we say they're married, filing joint, right? We just put in that information. It's just keying in information just like you would, you know, along the way, right? What's their occupation? You can still tab or enter through the fields. Come over here, you can click this. Let's just say taxpayer, live with spouse, can't be claimed as a dependent. You get Julia. Date of birth. Right, she was a florist. And you just keep filling in information just like you would normally. When you're done with it, you come down here and you fill in your address, ABC Street. Hey, Vince, what's your zip code? You're muted, Vince.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's
Well,
your zip code?
my zip code is 93905.
All right. So
Yeah,
Salinas, California,
Salinas.
Monterey County. So when we put in a zip, we fill in city, state, and county for you. Then we could come down here. Of course, we don't have any states right now, so we're gonna suppress states in the 25. Those come out in early January. So right now you can't be there. We do have the foreign accounts questions. If you skip these, it would prompt you to come back to it. We're gonna take care of that right here. We've got our dummy information. When we're finished, we can hit save and continue. And this is gonna save the return. Of course, it's got to be a test social. So let's see if that works. There you go. So it brings up by default some consent. So if you're doing, if you're going to be offering any additional products based off their tax return, such as bank products, you can go ahead and click add form right here to do the consent forms. And then you have a choice of whether to skip to direct form entry or to start guided. So this is something new that a lot of people have asked for, is they want an interview as they're doing the tax return. So that's what the guided workflow is. So let's just click start guided workflow. And the first thing it's going to do is it's going to work us through down this column over here. And it's going to ask us questions. And based on how we answer those questions, it's going to have us fill in additional information. So for instance, did they have any dependents? Yep. We'll click next. So now it's going to ask us to key in the dependents information. We can click add form. There's also a quick grid. I like the add form function because there is a due diligence tab we do have to fill in, right? So this is son, months at home is 12. That would work, would it? Let's say 2020 based on that. And then did they have any childcare expenses? You know, dependent live with taxpayer. You can just keep filling this information in. You can also then come up here to the due diligence tab, and we can say, yep, not applicable. Could anyone qualify? If we click yes, it asks us some additional questions. If we say no, we don't have to answer those questions, so it takes them away. That's kind of nice. You got this dynamic screen that based on how you do something, it's going to have you fill in additional information. Yep, this is yes and yes. And let's see, we got some medical records, right? And then, of course, there's links out here to some other information about earned income credit, child tax credit, other dependent credit, ACT. So there's some stuff out here. There will be help as you're tabbing through different fields. There can be help over here. And what you can do is then you hit save, and it brings us back on a dependent screen. We can either click save up here in the upper right or click save down here. And then we've got that dependent. If we had another dependent, we just click add form, and we keep going. When we're done, we click next, and now it's going to bring us to income. And it's going to say, oh, did you have any W-2s? Yes, we did. Did you have any interest or dividend income? No. Did they? Yep. Wife is self-employed. Did we have any retirement income? No. Did we get any unemployment, investment, property, gambling, other transactions? Yes or no. Depending on how we answer that, of course, is going to have us fill out those forms. So again, we answered yes that we have a W-2, so it wants a W-2. So we'll go in here, and just like you do it otherwise, taxpayer, employees, the same information. And let's see, 50,000. Oh, you just fill in the information just like it appears on the W-2. Any state information you need to, you can hit save. Again, I do want to highlight that there could be additional forms lines, like if you need more line 14s, need more line 12s, need additional Ohio RETA locality information or more localities for this state. So if you got more than the, one state on that W-2, you can hit I have more localities, and it'll pop up and bring that to you. You can hit save when you're done. Oh, hit one too many zeros. That's my fault. We'll save that. And then again, we could add another W-2. So this one might be for the spouse. Maybe she worked at the same company, right? So notice if we say that the information was different, you got to fill that in. We say, no, it's there. EIN database, just like that. I filled in the EIN again. It populates that data. I don't have to worry about it. Let's say she made 25,000. And the same thing, we'll hit save. That's done. If we had another W-2, we just keep hitting add form. When we click next, it's going to skip the interest and dividends because we said we didn't have any and take us to the business. Did they get any NECs? We can say yes or no. Did they have income from self-employment like contracting? Yes. No rental property, no K1, we'll say for this purpose, right? So again, there's a Schedule C, and we fill it in. So this is for the spouse, any state that we would need. What's the profession? She's a florist. What's cool about this is you can just start typing, and it's auto-pop, and then you can choose the appropriate code. So instead of having like in the software, you can search by pressing a keystroke or right click and go to search. In this one, you can just kind of start filling in what it is, and it finds it wherever it's at. It finds it here or here, so it's a florist. This is flowers for you.
Oh man, that's gonna be super helpful. I remember when I was doing taxes, and I'd have to be scrolling up and down, more or less where I was at
Yeah.
in my software. So I'm like, yeah. So this is definitely gonna be way easier to actually get the business code.
Yeah.
For the Schedule Cs.
Yeah, and that'll make it a lot easier for you to find their appropriate, activity. And what's nice, like I said, is as you're typing that in, it's finding everywhere where that appears. So you got the FL in flooring, you got FL in flavorings out here, flour or florist or florist. So as you start typing, it'll start bringing it down. So if you and then you can choose just the one you want instead of having the, you've got this link out here as well to the tax book. If you purchase that, you can do that. But here, if you makes it so much easier in trying to find a list and scroll through, like you said. And again, if what you're looking for is not the first letter, you've got to read the whole description to find it,
Mm-hmm.
So makes a difference. So if you had keyed any 1099 NECs or miscellaneous and told them to go to the Schedule C, you don't have to rekey them here. But for our purposes today, we're just putting in some information, right? So we're going to say she had $25,000. She did some advertising. She might have she got a link out here. We can go to Form 4562, and this should flow to Schedule C. Which Schedule C? So this is number one. It was a computer. She bought 05/15 of 25, right? And we paid, let's say, $2,500 for it. It's 100% business use, but you don't even, it's going to assume that it is not a listed property. It is Section 1245. And then we come over here we're going to do makers, 5 years. And again, you have drop downs there. If you kind of want to know what it is, you can choose that off of that. And so we can hit save, and that's going to bring us back to the Schedule C, and then we can save that. And anytime we want, we can just do a quick calc. And it's going to come up here and calculate out results, what we owe, and it give us that information right there without having to do too much. So it makes it a lot easier for us to go in and see that information. Now, at any point in time, while we're entering data, even going through the Q&A, if we decide we just want to go back to the Schedule C, we can come up here and type in a screen code for what we're looking for. So we can type in C, which is what the IRS calls the form. That also works. And you can see that information. And it'll go out, and then you'll see there's your Schedule C. We're right back on it, right? So we can do that. It's makes it very easy. Same thing over here. We can come up here. We can click Form Code Guide, and it's got a list of all the screens you can see on there if you really want. But if we started back up here, or anytime we want, we can click Review Forms. It's going to show us all the forms we have, right? That's called My Forms. And then we can go to the General tab, and there's a list of all these forms that are on the General screen. Due diligence, for instance, here's our income, right? Schedule C, K1s, Schedule D, 8949, rental properties, all that's here. Adjustments, credits, taxes, just like the Drake desktop software is organized. And just like you can key in those keyboard shortcuts, you can get to all of that. So that means that you can operate 2 different ways in your same office, right? Possibly 3. So let's just say you've got you got a long time, 20+ year user of Drake software. Maybe it's your dad or your mom who's been using the installed program. That's what they're familiar with. And you're taking over the practice. And then you've also got, you've got your nephew or your niece working for you who's just learning taxes. So what the web-based allows you to do is your mom can open up and start out here, right? Because she could start a return and click open in desktop and still use the desktop environment to enter data because that's what she's familiar with. You can go through and open up the tax return, but this time you could go through and use what we call the direct form entry. So you could just add the forms because you know what you're doing a little more. Whereas your new person who's maybe a little greener, maybe he's a little worried about making a mistake, wants that guided workflow. You can do all of that in the same office with this one piece of software now with Drake, which is something truly unique because most of the time when you move to a web-based platform, you're having to give up everything that's in the desktop, including your old method of data entry and things like that. So we're trying to preserve some of that for our customers because we know there's going to be quite a few of those customers who are still going to want to enter data that way. And that's their biggest roadblock maybe to moving to a platform like this is going to be something on those sides. So what I'd like to do real quick is, are there any questions or anything right now that have been popping up?
So far, no questions. I don't see
Okay.
any here online or anything in any of the platforms. And I think this is also a great time to invite anybody that may have any questions. I definitely do have one for you, Chip. It's,
Okay.
you touched up on something very, very important, and that's something that we deal a lot here at Latino Tax Pro is with new people. Everybody's looking for what's the easiest, what's going to help me be, what's more robust, what's available, how is this going to be more efficient? And I see here, is this the desktop version or the online version? I'm sorry, I
We're
think you
the
may have mentioned it
we're in the Drake Tax Online,
online.
but
Okay.
because it does have, so this is all web based, so all your data resides on web servers we're running. We're managing that, but we do provide this ability to enter data in that traditional desktop mode. So again, like I said, you get a lot of this multi-generational family practice. Mom and dad are, one of them's been running a tax office for 20, 30 years, and the kid's coming in to take it over and wants to sort of modernize. They don't want to come into the office. They want to work remotely.
Yeah.
This kind of gives them that ability to do that without a lot of additional cost. In that regard, the pricing's a little different on the Drake Tax Online from the desktop, but there's a lot of convenience that comes with being web based, and that's not even counting the fact that, oh, you mean I could sit here on my phone and respond to a customer and do something in their return? Yes, yes, you could.
Wow.
Do you want to use your cell phone to enter data?
Probably not.
But it, but
But it is available.
in our interconnected, always on world, where you have clients that are, hey, I need you to do, can I get something? Man, how easy it would be to pull up your phone, pull it up, and just email them their tax return, right? You
Hmm.
could just, they come into here and you go, oh, view return, and you can view it, and then we can create the PDF, and then we can say, oh yeah, now that we created the PDF, we can upload that right to the portal for the client if they're using the Drake portals.
So we do have a question that popped up
Yep.
on Facebook, and it says here, do you have to pay each year to keep seeing the previous year information? Or is it like the desktop version that you pay one time per year and you don't have to pay any more for it and keep forever?
Every year has to renew with a new software. However, the years you paid for will have a minimum access. So, I mean, if you bought Drake 2025, you're going to have access to the Drake 2025 platform for a few years. And then before that would go away, you'd have to do that, whether that's online or desktop. The desktop will run indefinitely, right? I mean, you open it up. Now, we're not going to patch it after so many years, which of course no one does,
Hmm.
in that regard. But you would still have, I mean, I can still technically pull up, I have installed on here like Drake 2015. I could still open the Drake 2015 even if I'm not a customer. It'll still open up. I can still log in. However, if you're not a customer, if there's trouble with it, who are you going to call? But you might have
I
to
was
troubleshoot some of that stuff. Because even then, I mean, you're talking a 10-year-old software. There's limitations on what we will actually support in that regard, anyways. Um,
yeah,
so so
awesome.
there's definitely some advantages to doing certain things in the software, using it. But to that client's question or that
Mhm.
person's question, I think what they're used to is some of our competitors have in the past. Like if you don't renew, then your old software is all shut off too.
Oh,
And
snap.
as far as I know, we're not doing that. We haven't done that. We don't intend to do that. I don't know if there's, how we could justify it for those years. Now, well, that doesn't mean we give you access to new stuff, or again, we may limit support because you're not paying for it or things like that. But there's definitely a price factor built in that you're going to need to access this system for a few years, as far as that goes, and that's part of that. But you do have to renew every year to get to newest tax law updates, right? There's
Yeah.
a new tax software every year because it's technically a different tax law. There's new laws passed every year that have to be enacted and followed. So it's in essence, you'll have an icon for 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and each of those years would had to have been purchased in that regard.
Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you,
Yeah.
Carolina. I didn't reference her, but thank you for jumping in and asking these questions. It's always great, especially if you have any doubts or any questions, or looking into switching software. I know it's scary. Nobody likes to switch, especially getting so close to tax season. But now's the time to ask these questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to submit them in the box, and I will relate them to Chip. Thank you, Chip.
Yeah, no problem. So just review a few things and recap for everybody. while we're waiting for any additional questions to come in. So, again, this software does integrate you through the web-based version of what they call the Drake Hub, Drake User Manager here. You're going to be able to access your portals if you're using portals. Drake Workflow to help track returns, right? So I can click clients. I can see all my clients here, what they are. You can see this information all off of here. I have my workflow. This is based on the firm, not just the preparer that's logged in. So you have something called Drake Workflow. You can go through and move returns based on, oh, it's a new return. It's rolled from the prior, but have we assigned it to someone? We can click here. We can go, hey, let's go ahead and get a proposal sent, or, pending signature, return canceled, right? You got some different statuses there. We can assign it to a different preparer and put in a due date when they're due, and then we can move it over here to the gathering info spot. And there's lots of functionality you can do within that workflow. But the apps also tie in like to Drake Pay. So I can come out here to Drake Pay, and I can come out using the web-based version of Drake Pay, whether I'm using the tax software or not. I could come in here and request charges from anybody. So I could go ahead and hit request payment, and I could put in the amount, and I could put in the phone number, I'll go ahead and show you kind of what this looks like, tax prep and advisory deposit, right? You go ahead and hit submit, and then that's going to pop out. If we go to Gmail, they're going to get request for payment from Drake Software Sales. Of course, where it says Drake Software Sales, that's going to be the name of the company. And then they can click Pay Now. And with Pay Now, they can actually come on all the way out here, and then they could choose to pay with a debit or credit card or ACH. So they'd be able to do all that all within the tax program here, all web-based. You don't even have to have the software installed. So again, something you can manage from your phone or from a tablet remotely while you're out of the office. You could still invoice your people that haven't paid you. You could go ahead and send that to them, or maybe text it to them. They can actually get it on their phone as well, so they can do all of that. But all right, any additional questions come through?
So okay, here we go. So from Carolina as well, she says, I've been using Drake for 8 years, and I've been called before about a web version, but they told me I would have to renew each year for a specific year I want to keep information for. I was just curious about this, if this is the same as the web version they had talked about before.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll keep if you're not renewing for the following year, you'll have access to some of that. We can go over that with you, Carolina, to look at what you're specifically doing. If you're at a certain point in time, we're not going to store the data, continue to store the data online after a certain point in time. That's just a security nightmare for everybody involved. So, we don't want to leave something sitting out there, and then if something happens to it, and there's just a lot of vulnerability that might come, from something that's not being used consistently. When you're on and logging in, you'll notice that, oh, wait a minute, what is this? Why was this return access? I've been on in 2 weeks. Why does that say at last access yesterday, right? There's things like that you'd be missing otherwise. But we can definitely talk more about that directly. Carolina, if you would like to email me, I'll be glad. Vince, I'll throw it in the chat if you want.
Yeah,
and I'll throw it in the chat for you to share however you want to put it out there. If everybody has any questions, I mean, they can email me, and then I'll be glad to at least filter it to the right place for them. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, here we go. Chip.
So it's just first name, period, last name at drakesoftwarealloneword.com. So, but you can, if Carolina wants to email me directly, and then like I said, I can get someone to spend some time to walk through and explain exactly for her on that, so that she can be, we want to make sure the question actually getting answered properly and restored in that. So,
okay, yeah,
that's a quick overview of the Drake Tax Online product. I mean, I'm more than happy to talk with anybody about it. If you're an existing customer, you can go online to the Drake Tax Online. You can actually try it for free, even if you're not a customer. Come here to go to drakesoftware.com. In fact, I'll throw this out there too for you. If you want to put this, let me see if I can send it to everyone. Yeah, I can only send it to you, but maybe you can send it. They can go to that link if they'd
Mhm.
like to try this online. They can try it for themselves. They can click try it free, fill it all in. And some base pricing is out there. However, if you'd like to talk about custom pricing based on your office, anything, we'll be glad to have those conversations with
Yeah.
anybody as well.
Alrighty. This one right here, right? All right. So I'm gonna put it for the public. Feel free to grab a, what is this, a demo?
Yeah, you can hit
Yep.
try it free and fill in their information, and they'll get an email that'll let them actually try the Drake Tax Online product themselves. So they'll be able to log in and start a test return and play with the program. And the nice part is that they start it with the Drake Tax Online, and then they instead and they decide they want to do it. Once they purchase, they won't have to onboard because they'll already have done that. They already have
Oh,
started the
nice.
process of creating their account and all that. Instead of just playing with something that then you got to go through all these initial steps, you already have done that by filling in that information. So
Yeah, yeah. This is great. So we definitely invite everybody and anybody that would like to try it. Try it for free. No strings attached. Um, I put the link here in the comment section, so feel free to uh create an account, get it ready to go. Thank you for sharing this, Chip.
yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad to help, and I hope everybody's got a chance to see it. If there's anything else you guys would like to see, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, you guys have Chip's email. You can reach out to him directly, or you can reach out to us here at Latino Tax, where you can reach out to me directly as well, except Friday. Friday through the rest of most of the year, I will not be here. So
All
I'm
right,
gonna be
so
on vacation.
let's just send them a lot of emails after
Yeah,
Friday,
yeah,
everybody. Let's
yeah, I
just
know, right?
fill that
Eh,
inbox right up.
Hey, Chip, I know you travel a lot because I've seen you in some of these shows, especially
Hmm.
IRS. Have you been to our Latino Tax Fest? I think I've
I
seen you
did. I
there.
was there this
Yeah,
year. Yeah, I've
yeah.
gone
I
the
was like,
last
yeah.
couple of years. Yeah, it's always a
So
great show.
yeah, exactly. And it always happens that the moment that I go either to an event or it's a day off, that's when I get the most emails. Do you have the same
Yeah,
thing?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's usually something's on fire that needs to be put out
yeah.
immediately. Usually while I'm driving to the airport, or even worse, while I'm on the plane that I can't make a call or something. So
I know. When I landed, was it in Vegas yesterday? I had missed calls like, "Hey, call me," and I'm like, "Oh, bro, I'm in the plane," and I was like, "Yeah, I can't call," and then I ended up like, when I was boarding the plane, they're like, "Call me right now," and I have like, the call list, right? And I'm like
yeah,
clicking, and I clicked the wrong one, and I called the wrong person. I was like, "Oh, hey, my bad, wrong person."
yep. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oops. I
Oh
did that.
man.
You log in on ours, and we're kind of like, I'll be on the plane. I'll connect to the Wi-Fi and open up my, the laptop and get connected, and you got voice over IP, so it's
Hmm.
wanting to, there's some
Hmm.
things that run at the beginning. So I was like, oh, I'm getting message. Are you available for a call transfer? So and so's calling me. Like, I don't think I'm going to have a conversation with somebody while sitting on board a plane 30,000 feet in the air. I don't think that's a smart idea. First one, just in
Yeah,
case. We're not getting that kind of close to our neighbors. We don't want to share that information.
no, no, not at all. And I mean, sounds amazing to kind of hear that out, see how that would actually play out. But yeah, it was like, oh man, I gotta reach out to this individual and let them know what's going on in the next few days. Luckily for me, I was able to say like, hey, look, I would love to talk to you, but can I give you the number to our call center and you can talk to
Yep.
anybody there? And it's like those shows when you meet them face to face and it's amazing. It's great. That's why we're there. I love being there, meeting new
Yeah.
people, interacting. It is why one of the reasons a lot of people love Latino Tax Fest because of all the networking that happens in there.
Yeah.
In addition to all the education, the classes that we're doing, and that's something new that we're doing this year. And I know you guys are already set to go for next year. So I'm excited to
Yep.
see you guys there with your booth, with the team.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm excited. I don't know who's going yet, but I've gone for the last few years, so I'm sure they'll want to put me on it. But if we'll see what they want to do. I don't get to make those decisions, so
You know
I
what?
just go where I'm told.
Since next year is gonna be World Cup year,
Yeah.
um, I wanted to go watch the home games in Mexico, but it looks like it's gonna be around the fest time, and my vacation didn't get approved. So I guess I have
Oh,
to be there.
well, I'm
It's all
sure
good.
I'll be there. I'm sure there's somewhere you can watch it while you're there. I'm sure there's some place you can go.
I'm watching it here.
You, so if he's at the back of the booth not talking to anybody, he's looking like
Uh,
that. He's
oh, we
watching
have
soccer,
we have a break room. I'll be like, no, but
watching
it's in the
football.
yeah, it's in the US, Mexico
Yeah.
and Canada.
Hmm.
So I should have the afternoons or the evenings available. So don't I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just concentrated on the game.
I don't think you'll be the only one. I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Yeah,
So
it was funny because I was talking to a couple people. You know Wilson, right? Wilson, Rodolfo. There's a lot of people there that we hang out with. So we were talking about that. We're like, man, what are we gonna do? We're like, watch party, bro. A watch party for everybody. But other than that, Chip, I know you covered a lot of great information today. So tell us, is there a special that you guys are running right now?
no, this just it's time of that time of year. We're ready to go. We do have a lot of training available. Several hours of free training on the Drake platforms. So if you want to get in, the nice part about it is you decide you want to make that jump. We've got onboarding. We get you up and running pretty much same day. So we can get your conversion from a prior year software from most of the major software companies out there. If you're leaving one program to come to us, we've got some options there, and I'll be glad to talk to anybody about that and see what we can do. And as far as custom pricing on the Drake Tax Online, we build that pricing based on your office and the kind of returns you do. So we just need to have a quick conversation about that. And you can email me, and I'll be glad to follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, especially and for those of you that are actually Drake software users, I know this because I actually attend these events with you guys. The update schools.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's one coming up. December was it 16th, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
December
Yeah.
16th in Vegas, at Caesar's Palace. I'm gonna miss it this year. I enjoy going there. Not necessarily Vegas itself. I think I've been there too many times and yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's one of those. I got you. It's definitely one
yeah.
of those.
Yeah, I mean, I go because I like some of the hotels and I don't necessarily gamble. But the last time I did gamble, um, I regretted it
Yeah.
instantly.
Well, that happens. That
Yeah,
happens a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot of people who regret that. So yeah,
So
that's
yeah, so definitely if anybody's out there and is interested, you can are they able to sign up on the website or just reach out to your representative
yeah.
and they'll probably or
Just
Chip?
email us. Just
Yeah.
email us, and we'll be glad to
Yeah.
do that for you. So that won't be a problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for us at Latino Tax Pro, Latino Tax Fest is coming up. Right now, we do have our price increase is going to start here at the end of or at the beginning of next year.
Hmm.
So, anybody watching it and is interested in coming back and attending the event, or actually if you heard about it and want to know what it's all about, this is your invitation. Personally, me, I want to invite everybody to come back, and especially the brand new people that want to come in and network. It's a great place to meet vendors. You can find solutions. My goal has always been about bringing solutions to everybody and being able to share these solutions. So not only you're more efficient, but at the same time simultaneously your office is growing. That's the whole plan and the deal with us here at Latino Tax Pro. We're all about growth. This is why we partner up with um, partners like Drake and other vendors that are there. So I'm really happy and I'm excited. There's a lot of new changes that are going to be coming. I'm not just saying that because I'm part of the planning, but there's a lot of a lot of changes and I enjoy just bringing out these solutions to everybody and making sure that we were able to fulfill what you're looking for. And if we don't have it, we can definitely connect you with the right people. So, Latino Tax Fest, June 22nd through the 25th. I can't believe I almost forgot, and I'm always saying it. June 22nd through the 25th, 2026 at the MGM Grand. For sure, bring some nice walking shoes. I don't know if you ever done that walking back and forth Chip, but
It's a
uh,
solid. It's a good lo- trip from your hotel room on the far side of the hotel to the meeting room. So
yeah,
the
uh,
exhibit hall. There's it's a good walk.
yeah.
Get your steps in. Get your steps in.
I think my that's when my watch is well when I don't like to carry the Apple Watch, but when I do have it, it tells me like you good, like you're walking a lot more than usual.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
It
then
can
when I
always,
don't walk,
yeah. Then it's like, or it shows you the next week afterwards, and you're like,
eh,
you're down so many steps on
yeah,
average.
that's what I was gonna
Makes
say.
you feel bad about it,
Yeah,
like you did something different. I was like, well, it's not
yeah,
at the trade show. It's almost July 4th, so. No, it's
yeah.
a great event. It really is. You guys put on a great event. Lots of education, good education. Not, presenters who know what they're talking about. They know they're good at presenting. Keep the crowd
Hmm.
engaged. And like you said, it's a great opportunity to come out there, not just network with coworkers or peers in the industry, find out what's working for them to grow their businesses. You have a lot of great conversations, but there's also a great opportunity in that exhibit hall to come in and talk to Drake and all the other providers about what do they offer, schedule demos, and do all that sort of stuff. So you can find something that works for yourself if you're interested in all that, and all the other ancillary things you may not even thought about doing in your practice. Other ways you can find some additional revenue and stuff to do. So it's a great event, really is. You guys have been doing that for how long now? Over 10 years, right
Yeah,
at
I
that.
think we're at 13, 14 years.
Yeah. So and
Man,
it's all and
I
it's
lost
been
count.
great. It's been
Yeah,
great. So you guys do a wonderful job with keeping the crowd engaged, keeping everybody, and giving something that people enjoy. So I think that speaks by because it's always busy from our
yeah.
standpoint. To come back, I've spent a few days out there with that crowd, and I'm like, all right, I come back, I need a weekend to recover. You guys, go from sun up to sundown. So
Yeah,
all
these
day.
are yeah, absolutely. These are long days. I will admit that, especially for us
But that's
hosting
a
it.
good thing.
Yeah, it's and it may not seem like it. I'm not so much of a people person, but I'm always up in the mix. I'm always like trying to help out people. Um, but when I do want to rest, I do want to rest and get ready. Yeah, as I'm getting older, I figured out that I really need to I
I need that
really
sleep.
yeah, I really need to sleep and I don't bounce back as quickly as I used to. But hey, this event is great. Again, this is an open invitation for everybody and anybody. We are inclusive. I mean, Chip, you've been there. Uh would you agree that this event is very diverse? There's a lot of people
Oh
from
yeah,
different ethnic groups, and that's literally the goal for us to unite all the tax preparers. It doesn't matter where you're from,
yeah.
and it's not only in Spanish. I understand the name Latino, but it's in English and Spanish. So we're very diverse, very inclusive crowd. So I've enjoyed it. I've talked to a lot of people when I was down in LA last week. Um, we were talking about it. I was sitting in a very diverse group. I enjoy it because we can get different perspectives. Same thing in Houston. It was very different. The first thing that I get asked, even from vendors, is, "Do I need to speak Spanish?" I'm like,
Nope.
nope." Okay,
No,
there we go. Thank you for answering.
everybody managed to handle it. No, because I definitely don't. I definitely don't. But I am looking forward to some of the new technology that's out there, so that you can, the new AirPods, and I think some of the new Google stuff. You can literally sit there and have live translation or almost real time translation going on. So that'll be interesting to try out next summer with somebody just to be able to play with that and see how it both works
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody involved, and have your ear pods in your ear and be able to understand what someone's asking or something. So sometimes when that happens,
I need to get
just
that.
play with it.
Yeah, I need to get that, especially when I go to Europe,
Yeah.
because I have a trip planned out there. So, um, I want to be able to communicate. I mean, English and Spanish are no problem for me. Anything over that, I may have trouble.
Well, you should be fine. You should be fine. Most of Europe's going to speak English,
Yeah.
so
I
they're not going
figured.
to have a problem. In a few places that might Spanish will probably get you close enough with that, so you should be good.
Might have to
But
use
yeah,
sign language at some point, but it's all good. Like where?
yeah. Well, you
Uh,
know, and
yeah,
this
but
the
yeah.
Translate app on your phone will do wonders for all that stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chip, this was great information. I don't know if there's anything else that you'd want to say and invite them to, other than, we really invite you to use that link for the demo
yep,
and
give
anything
that
else that you
give
want
that a
to.
try. And then also, if you go to drakesoftware.com and you can go down underneath, you can scroll down and we have webinars coming up. We try to do a couple webinars every Tuesday and Thursday. There's usually something introduction on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays we usually do some sort of what we call a business success webinar. So there's one tomorrow from 2 to 3 that's just the tax TY25 updates and enhancement across Drake software. So existing Drake customers for free, even prospective customers, think about it. You want to see some of the new stuff that's coming. There's a webinar tomorrow from 2 to 3. So it's great, come in there, and those are free to attend. We've got one on bank products. If you've never offered bank products, if you thought about it, or if maybe you've offered it, but you've never really gotten traction, got something about boosting revenue there on that. So we have a lot of free training and things we do on ours as far as those virtual seminars that we try to do. So anybody who wants to check those out can go to drakesoftware.com and then scroll down and hit view webinars, and you can see a whole list going all the way through, I think, end of January at this point. So
Yeah, and if anybody is coming in late right now or towards the tail end of this presentation, this is recorded, so it is going to stay on our platform. So you'll feel free to watch it from the beginning, and Chip's information is in the chat box. So yeah, feel free to reach out to any of us, or you can send us a direct message there at our Latino Tax Pro page. One of our team members that manages those our social media pages will answer it, and like Chip said, funnel it to the right um, account or agent,
yeah,
and then we'll reach out. And if it's somebody that I need to reach out to, I will too as well. I'm always available for that. Always happy to jump on a call with the client. But other than that, Chip, it looks like we've reached the end of our presentation today, our
yep,
time together here. Looking forward to many more contributions and webinars with Drake and the Drake team.
yep.
Um, Today's was great. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hopefully everybody has a safe and has a wonderful Christmas and a New Year and an even better tax season. So if there's anything else we can do, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out. But Chip, thank you for your time today. Thank you everybody. Hopefully everybody has a good rest of their day. Have a good one.